man, we tapped in. You know what I'm saying? Late to the scene, but late is better than not coming at all. Okay, trust the plan. Everybody, Hayes reacts. First of all, man, we got to jump into this shooting in Minneapolis. This shit's crazy right here, man. Let's get to it, man.
No! No! Shame!
As cops, we're responsible for every single round that leaves our weapon.
Eric Ballier is a 25-year career federal agent who most recently oversaw use of force investigations for Homeland Security Investigations, or HSI. We asked him what to make of the tactics used by federal agents in the fatal Minnesota shooting.
In my 25 years, I've done hundreds of vehicle stops. If someone is fleeing, that is not a justification for the use of deadly force.
Now, this is their own people saying this shit, y'all. Okay.
In this moment, the officer crosses in front of the vehicle. He opens fire on the driver, 37-year-old Renee Good. The government says the officer shot the driver in self-defense.
She then proceeded to weaponize her vehicle, and she attempted to run a law enforcement officer.
Y'all see this right here? This is a game. Okay. Everybody up there with whatever is written on this piece of paper right here, they all know the routine. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we fucked up, but guess what? We finna stand together and say, nah, we didn't fuck up shit. And we wholeheartedly believe it. Everybody up here. Okay? And that's how they get away with it. They make the truth.
Over.
But the footage tells a different story. In this clip, we see Good waving cars by, and one car drives past her stopped vehicle.
Like they're somewhat impeding the ICE guys, although you did see the SUV drive around them.
Next, officers exit the car and approach Good's vehicle.
Right out of the gate, it's escalatory in nature.
Okay.
And then the agent with the black mask reaches for the driver's side door.
Bro, if the police walk up on my fucking car and just start trying to pull me out my shit, it's a wrap.
Door handle to try to open it. From the video, like the reverse lights are on.
From this other video angle, we can see that the officer has already crossed in front of the car. He's holding a cell phone.
They are trying to essentially.
Yeah, he set up the moment. He like, I'm gonna get in front of this car and try to stop it. Sorry, you're not gonna stop the car, okay? What you did was set up the shooting of this person. Because the moment that she moves forward, you're gonna fear for your life, even though you put yourself in the position.
Take some sort of recording or photograph of the driver to show or identify her as
it's common sense,
antagonist to their.
And I'd be mad too. Look at that fucking hairline. Boy, look like Vegeta. Fuck out of here.
Enforcement operations. What he does is cross in front of and stay in front of a occupied running vehicle. You should not be intentionally putting yourself in front of a vehicle unless absolutely necessary. And
I literally just said that.
with a cell phone in his left hand, he draws his.
My white brother has a little common sense. A little common sense.
Pistol with his right hand, and in very quick succession, rattles off 3 rounds.
Under the Department of Homeland Security's use of force policy, firearms may not be discharged solely to disable a moving vehicle, and shooting at a moving vehicle is tightly restricted.
So my training was that you cannot.
But you know what though? He breaking their own rules, right? And they got it in writing what these rules are. They're gonna, he's suspended with pay. Let's let this shit blow over. Give it a month or two. Something else gonna happen. It's a dirty game, man.
Deadly or lethal force.
It's a dirty game.
Solely to stop a fleeing vehicle. Do you have another option other than pulling the trigger?
The Trump administration maintains the agent opened fire to avoid being run over, but the direction of the tires appears to be facing away from the officer to the right.
Hey, bro, could have hit one of the motherfucking game dodges, okay, and been cool. You know what I'm saying? Like the fact that they is like just trained to smoke your ass. They always the ones that's in fear for their safety. But they are trained with firearms. They pull up, tactical, suited out. You know what I'm saying? Utility belts. They got everything that you have. You have a hoodie on and tennis shoes. That's all you got to use. You know what I'm saying? And they be dead scared to the point that they got to kill you.
There's still a dispute as to whether the officer was grazed or struck by the Honda. He continues to fire even after moving out of the way of the vehicle.
If she is intentionally trying to hit that agent or officer, those tires are pointed in the opposite direction, and the vehicle's trajectory after the shots would be continuing to the left.
After 3 shots, the car veers away.
Oh my God!
According to Ballier, both the officer's gunfire and the car accelerating could have put agents and the surrounding crowd of bystanders in danger.
These are all factors that law enforcement officers have to weigh before pulling the trigger.
Bro wanted him a body that night. That's all it is. Okay, because, let him tell it. All them factors that you just said he should have thought through. He gonna look at you in his eyes and say, hey, it happened so fast, I didn't get a chance to think. And that's gonna be how that man walks away with this. Okay? It's a cold fact, man. You know what I'm saying? People are split about how this should go. Some people are saying, hey, listen, I feel him. Shit, the car looked like it was going towards him. He probably didn't think about jumping. It'd have been quicker for him to squeeze his finger than it would have been for him to hit a whole jump and roll out the way. And that's true, scientifically. You know what I'm saying? It would take me 2 or 3 seconds. This is, millisecond action right here. You know what I'm saying? So you got it. But you know what I'm saying? Like, is that always going to be the first? And we know it is. So I'm really asking a hypothetical question right here. Is that always going to be the first response? Because I've seen videos overseas, and I mean, different rules, different strokes and shit, where, police are able to, disarm suspects, that don't have firearms without firing shots. So it just be weird, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to figure out what the fuck is going on out here, And I'm hearing that this lady was a lady, and that she was white. You know what I'm saying? So if that's true, we might about to get some change. You know what I'm saying? Because they do this shit to us all day long and beat the case. You know what I'm saying? Shit, that Rodney King was clearly, you know what I'm saying? You see how that went, though. It was like, nah, they ain't do shit wrong. Dude was 6'5". I'd have beat his ass like that, too. Not guilty. Okay? It's just crazy out here, man. That's why I don't call the police unless it's on women. Okay? Spouses and shit like that. Handle your candle, nigga. Okay? Only time I call police if I smoke somebody. Legally. And you got to. Unless you want to go to jail. Still might, but if it's true self-defense and they get it together, go home. That's just crazy though, man. Minneapolis. What's that? Minnesota, right? I have never been to Minneapolis, man. What about y'all? That shit is wild, man. We got one more thing to get to, man. And this is a viral topic because people really want to know why Timberlands cost so much.
We're coming for you, Timberland. This is unacceptable. Not when we're in town, holding these brands accountable. You busted, Timberland. This is
This might be the absolute worst offender
that I've ever seen. Some BS marketing, hiding behind the heritage world, trying to make a high quality boot, pricing it at almost 400 bucks. And looks like there's some severe issues with this thing. So we're gonna cut this in half, run through all of our tests to really figure out, is Timberland scamming you guys? That's all. And I had high hopes for it because Timberland's got this 75+ year history. They're work boots. Every job site you see, you got a pair of Timbs on there. And so when I saw they came out with the heritage boot, the luxurious version, the high-end version, everything's upgraded, my interest was piqued until I got them in hand. So we bought a pair just to cut in half, run through our tests, and compare it to the regular Timberlands to really figure out how much Timberland is scamming you with this boot, and why I think if you have a pair of these, you should demand your money back. It's that bad. So first, what is a pair?
First of all, I only wear Timberlands for fashion. Okay, I don't wear them for work-related purposes. So let's start there.
Heritage boot, you know, but to really set the scene of the difference of their regular boots and what they're trying to attempt with this boot. Well, this style of boot has been around for well over 100 years, hence the name Heritage. But it's not just the style that has kept it around all the way into 2025 with all the modern technology, materials. It's the durability and longevity and support of these Heritage boots that are still arguably the best way to make high quality boots to this day. That's why the top boots in the entire world are built in a Heritage way. The most durable boots in the world are built in a Heritage way. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And there's certain qualities inherent to a heritage boot, like the heritage and traditional ways of making it with the types of construction, the types of materials, the linings, the midsoles, all of these things that we've slowly gathered over the last 5 years, cutting 500+ boots and shoes in half to really refine what a true heritage boot is, but also in that spectrum of price range, where does this boot actually lie? Is it actually where it should be for $380 or not? That's what we're gonna figure out. So first, what is this boot? Well, let's look at the OG Timbs first. So the brand is Timberland. The style is the premium 6-inch waterproof boot. They weigh 1 pound, 13 ounces. They retail for $210 and they're made in the Dominican Republic. And the way they position this boot is the men's Timberland premium 6-inch boot is the original. Iconic, fully waterproof and featuring 400 grams of Permaloft insulation.
Motherfuckers nice, I ain't gonna lie to you, boy. A pair of Timberlands just make your ass feel, you know, just extra manly, lumberjackish. You know what I'm saying? When you got Timbs on, you like, boy, motherfucker better not act up today. Today, you're done. Okay? Bless me. You're done. Okay? Let this motherfucker act up today. Timberland sign upside his shit.
This boot features waterproof premium Timberland leather uppers and cushion collar. A removable anti-fatigue footbed and steel shank designed for arch support work together to deliver all-day comfort. So then what is this boot here? Well, the brand is obviously Timberland. The style is a luxe waterproof boot. They weigh 1 pound, 11 ounces, so a little bit lighter, but they retail for $380, so almost $200 more than the original Timberlands, and they're made in Bangladesh. I don't know if you've even seen a boot from Bangladesh. So how do they position this product? They say crafted in a workshop to exacting standards. Our men's Timberland Luxe waterproof boot is an elevated expression of the timeless icon. This exclusive edition of our iconic Timberland boot features luxurious Horween Dryden nubuck leather uppers, prized for its unique character and soft, subtle hand feel. Underfoot, our exclusive anti-fatigue technology delivers support with each step. Waterproof construction and a Vibram outsole are a nod to our rugged heritage. A lot of claims, a lot of exclusive, luxurious, exacting standards, a lot of big claims there. You might remember that your boy has been on the hunt for the perfect baby knife. I did this entire video on Rosamble 2, bought like 20 or 30 of these little pocket knives.
Oh, we finna slice these motherfuckers every which way, huh? We finna dice these motherfuckers. Stop playing with us.
The replaceable blades. And then Knaps came out with their Lander 5. And they say it's the ultimate $30 knife. And I was like, wait, this is only 30 bucks.
Come on,
and
bro,
the thing that makes it different from all the knives that I was
bro.
reviewing is this has a permanent blade, whereas these are your utility blade style. But look how close they are in size. Like that to me is the perfect size of knife. Like that's what I want. And so for the last few weeks since I first got these, I've been wearing this on my belt every day, switching them back and forth to see how it actually compares to these little baby knives I did that whole video on, and there is a difference because these utility blades, they're really cheap and they're really fragile. You can snap them really easily. It's a lot more substantial. Like all these blades, all these cheap blades have so much flex in them. They're just not very precise. And they say the Lander 5 was made to be your perfect first knife. Still fits in your belt really well, still pretty light and compact, still has a solid blade on there, and most importantly, it actually locks out, and a strong lockout, because there's nothing scarier than a knife that doesn't lock out and you're sitting there prying on something and you lose grip and all of a sudden you cut 3 of your fingers off. And it's a Utah brand. We're a Utah brand. We're born and raised in Utah. We're right here in Salt Lake. So sponsoring this video. And cheaper boots and shoes because the sole wears out and you can't reuse a lot longer to match leather in the upper. And why does that matter for a heritage boot? Well, because quality leather lasts a lot longer to match the longevity of the heritage construction. And you don't need that in cheaper boots and shoes because the sole for sponsoring this video. So what are those things that actually make a heritage boot what it is? Well, one of them is the premium leather in the upper. And why does that matter for a heritage boot? Well, because quality leather lasts a lot longer to match the longevity of the heritage construction. And you don't need that in cheaper boots and shoes because the sole wears out and you can't re-sole them. They're not made to last a long time, but heritage boots are. So what is this leather? Well, it is a Horween version of the classic Timberland leather. You can see it's a slightly different color, still has that matte texture to it, and Horween is one of the most famous tanneries in the entire world. But is this leather actually good regardless of who tanned it? Well, it's really thin. It's only 1.5 to 1.8 millimeters thick, and that's a lot closer to what you see thickness-wise when it comes to sneakers. I was expecting it to be more like 2.5, especially for the elevated version, the premium version, because your regular Tims are exactly that, like 2.3 to 2.5 millimeters thick. There's some spin you could do that Timberland could say, well, the idea behind it, it's a luxurious leather, so we wanted it thinner to give it a more elevated look. There's no room for that because thinner leathers crease faster, they don't hold their shape nearly as well, and they wear out faster and they look worn out faster. So you tell me, why would they go with a sneaker thickness leather for their premium elevated heritage boot? Is it at least more luxurious than the regular Tims?
We're gonna bust it down, okay? You know, a lot of shit has changed, you know what I'm saying, with inflation. You know, made to look the same, but change some type of way. So, you know, it's bound to happen.
Not really. Like if you remove the Horween stamp from it, you honestly can't tell too big of a difference. You look at the cross section, it might have just a little bit more grain, you know, but that's about it. And it's not like the regular Timberlands are super premium leather. This is on their affordable work boot. So when you have cheaper, thinner leather on the luxurious premium version, not a great sign for the rest of the boot. And there could be some redeeming qualities in here somewhere, like look at the lining. It's because they said it's a Horween leather, it's premium, and linings matter for heritage boots because, like I said, they're extremely durable. And when you put a fabric lining on the inside of any shoe, we've all seen it. The heel wears out, your pinky toe, your big toe will wear out holes in the lining, and it completely ruins the shoe because you'd have to rebuild the entire thing to replace that. So that's why in heritage boots you rarely see a lining, and if you do, a lot of times it's leather because it's a lot more durable, it smells less. And so what's in this boot? Well, they put a foam-backed fabric in the vamp. And it's way less premium and less durable than even just the regular Tims. It's literally just a sneaker lining in a premium boot. And keep in mind, it is similar to how Timberland does theirs. They got the fabric lining in the vamp, but up to the quarters it's leather. And so Timberland can kind of hide behind the idea of like, well, we wanted to keep the fabric lining for breathability and pay homage to the original. But that would be a full-on cop-out to me. It's literally just a sneaker lining in a luxurious $400 boot. But is the partial lining at least good quality, hopefully better than the regular Tims? Well, it seems okay, but it's full of scars and loose grain and it's stretchy, but more importantly, the lining is already coming loose. How can you charge $400 for a boot that has a cheaper lining, a fabric sneaker lining that's already coming dislodged on their premium luxurious version? Not very crafted in the workshop to exacting standards like they promote over and over and over again. So is the lining at least better than the almost $200 cheaper regular versions? Is it more luxurious? No, like I honestly think this lining is better. It has a little more pigment on it, but I think through and through, the regular Tims is a better leather. But what about this exclusive anti-fatigue?
See, this how companies be getting overboard. You know what I'm saying? They change the name and degrade the quality and make you feel like, oh, you know what I'm saying? I want to do a breakdown of Pharrell's $85,000 Timber. Okay, see how that shit go.
technology that delivers support with each step. Oh, you mean just the regular Timberland insole? It's literally the exact same insole as the regular Timberlands. But that's not what I'm curious about with this. I want to know what's underneath the insole, because the lasting material is one of the biggest things for heritage boots. Because as soon as you get around that $250 to $300 price range, you almost always see a leather lasting board. And the reason I do this is the same reason we talked about with leather this whole video. It's more durable than the synthetics, it smells less, it shapes to your foot, it gives you that nice footprint inside your boot that makes them super comfortable and durable. So what's underneath the standard insole of this $300 luxurious version of Tim's? A cheap sneaker lasting material. You see this exact material in almost all sub $100 cheap sneakers. And once again, Timberland can kind of shade the truth and hide behind, oh, we wanted to be comfortable, we wanted this, and this, we didn't want the hard leather. But it's not gonna give you any support underneath your foot. It's gonna wear out as fast as a pair of sneakers, if not faster, because this boot has a shank on the inside, but it does not have any structural support over or under the shank. So over time, you're gonna get what's called shank lift. That when you flex this boot, that shank's gonna lift up and start tearing through that insole and jamming into the bottom of your foot. This is a catastrophic design fail by Timberland. There is no excuse whatsoever. There's no room to even justify this. And you might be able to find a way to justify that I'm wrong about this, but then why does the regular cheaper Tim's have a compressed cardboard layer to support the shank? Is that elevated expression of the timeless icon? Or do they just make the boot worse with cheaper materials? So far, the only thing that's
And charge you more. And charge you more. Crazy.
actually elevated in this boot is the amount of money that they're making off of you selling you this boot. And that's wildly embarrassing for a brand that's been making work boots for over 75 years. And you wonder why people don't support or trust big brands anymore. But now that we have that insole pulled out, I just realized there's probably an even bigger offense with this boot. Because when I saw this boot, I assumed, oh, it's a true heritage boot. It's got the Goodyear welt, because you can clearly see that it has a leather welt. It has the stitching on it. And that stitching and the construction, the way they put this whole boot together is probably the biggest difference between modern boots and heritage boots, especially when it comes to quality and durability. So what is this? Is it a real welt? Is it a real Goodyear welt? Well, it definitely is a real leather welt. You can see it's leather. There's a couple odd splits in it here and there, and you can tell it is real stitching on there. That looks like real thread to me. But when you look really, really closely, you can see there's a little bit of glue running around the entire boot. But it's not really glued that well. Like, you can see there's gaps in the glue, just a little bit of pressure delaminates it. So it could just be a little bit of glue to help the water protection, to prevent water from leaching through the Goodyear welt construction. But I can't actually tell if it's a real Goodyear welt or not. So let's cut these in half and really see if there's a single redeeming quality in these boots. Because right now, this is really looking like Timberland is basically just making a cheap sneaker in the shape of a heritage
Finessing. I can't go a day without finessing. Straight up.
boot and straight up conning their loyal customers. So let's cut these things in half.
Slice and dice and everything nice.
All right, we got it cut in half. So if you're not subscribed, consider pushing that little subscribe button. It's literally the only way that we can afford to keep buying brand new products just to destroy, to hold these brands accountable, show you where you're actually spending your hard-earned money on, and which of these giant corporations are using your hard-earned money to pay these shareholders and these corporate giants at your expense.
I appreciate it, white boy. Cheers.
So
Ain't invited to the cookout, but I'll bring you a plate.
give us a little sub. So now, let's see what's inside. This is all of our boot accessories that we've slowly developed over the last 4 years as we've done more and more boot reviews and realized how many things are missing in the market. So be sure to check out all these below. They make great gifts, self-gifts, and it's a huge way that you can help support the channel. So check them out below. So is there a single shred of ultra premium leathers, materials, and comfort tech hidden on the inside anywhere? Well, there is definitely some stuff hidden on the inside, but it's about as far away from ultra premium as you can get. It's literally just glued together. There's not even a single stitch holding the bottom of the boot to the upper of the boot. And it's not even direct injected like their cheaper work boots. It's the cheapest way to make a boot. It's gluing a boot together, direct injected, and then heritage style quality. And you almost never see a glued construction boot that's over $100. It's the absolute worst way to make a boot, and about as far away from heritage as you can get, as far away from luxurious, premium, all these words, these superlative words they use. But why does that actually matter, and how much less durable is it? Well, let me show you. That's about as durable as that. For $380, you can literally just rip the boot apart. Look at this. That is astonishing. And now you can really see nothing tying that lining in right there. And look on this side. The lining's coming out through the laces right there. That's not even tied in. There's like 2 stitches holding this entire lining together. And you can literally pull the whole thing apart. Should you be able to do this to a $380 heritage boot? Come on. Come on, Timberland, what is this shit? Look at that. You can literally tear out every piece of this boot by hand. But at least you can see there's some seam still in there. At least I got one thing that they claimed right. Completely garbage all the way through. And you can see now what I meant by that shank lift and having no support on the inside, how much that's sloppy and all over the place. You can see clearly how cheap that lining is. And this is, keep in mind, this is after like 30 steps total. This has hardly been worn. It's just been worn in like a few B-roll shots. And now you can especially see how obviously fake and intentionally misleading this welt is. This literally does nothing for the boot except fool people into thinking it's a higher quality boot than it actually is. Now, when you take this abomination and you compare it to any boot well within this price range, the Red Wings, the Trumans, Thursdays, even Wolverine, which is terrible for the price point, is significantly better than this. So then how much is this actually worth? If only somebody had 500 pairs of boots and shoes dissected to find the exact amount they should be charging for this boot. And to me, there is no way they can justify charging more than $200 for this. And that's generous. And if you really handed me this boot, I didn't see the Timberland name, I didn't see the Horween stamp, I would literally be like, 125, 150 is probably what they're charging for this boot. And Timberland might say, well, these are not really heritage boots. Then what are they? they're clearly cheaper than the regular Timberland boots that are like 150 bucks less. They're basically worse in every single way than their non-heritage boots. So then why did you make it look like a heritage boot? Market
Timberland.
it like a heritage boot, and yet make it significant.
Explaining to do. Whew. Boy, listen. I learned a long time ago to stop looking up to things and people. Okay? They let you down every time. Don't expect nothing. Don't expect nothing. Don't expect nothing.
Significantly lower quality than your cheaper boots. There's no defense for that in any way, because this is an embarrassment for Timberland. This is borderline lying and false advertising. And if you bought a pair of these, you should return them. You should demand your money back because you bought a $100 boot for $380. It's one of the most clear versions of brands taking advantage of their customers that I've ever seen. And you're justified in being mad. This plagues every aspect of the majority of things that we buy and use every single day. This is not exclusive to the footwear industry. And it's important to keep these brands accountable. So get your money back. And Timberland, you should be embarrassed of this. After 75 years of making some of the most popular work boots, you put this out? And the thing is, that you know exactly what you did, Timberland. There's no way that you didn't realize this was scamming your own customers. And I'd love to hear Timberland defend this boot, but they won't. Because if anything, it'll just make them look worse by admitting that they're scamming you guys. So, you busted, Timberland. This is shit. Sam, if the batteries are dead, replace them. I'm just playing. It's not like Sam has 2 legs anyway.
Anyway, man, that shit is crazy, boy. Timberland, y'all got to get that shit together. You telling me the cheaper boots are better. Boy, I'm telling you, expect nothing.